On today's show, Dave will find out the hard way that fall will be arriving at precisely noon. But that's not going to slow him down.
Oh, whoa. Giant fish. Stay on.
In a land like no other. On a lake like you've never seen. Well, maybe you've seen lakes like this. But there is an angler so great. He once set the hook so hard he turned a smallmouth into a largemouth. He can unscramble an egg. He made his first cast at the age of 3 and it landed yesterday. We join him to chronicle one day on one lake. This is Facts of Fishing, the show. Here we go. Welcome to Facts of Fishing, the show. Brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Yamaha, Conquer Water. Phoenix Bass Boats. Experience the Phoenix difference. Live Target. Lifelike Lures. Action Car and Truck Accessories. The right customer experience. And Jackal. Eat, sleep, Jackal.
Water's a lot clearer. I thought this warm weather would have kept the bloom on it, but it shows what the cold at night does. Oh, that was a fish. Wow, all the bait that just chased out after it. Come on, come back. Stole my trailer. And now I'm around the rope. See? Little robber. Stole it. Cool thing about that particular trailer is they're so soft. I mean, they're basically like a hand-poured plastic. So it takes very, very little movement to add action to your bait. I don't think he's that big. But he's a muncher. No, he's a little dude. He's a little dude. That is a very tiny fish. But he's a muncher, and I'll take him. Good one. Smoked it. Oh, slow down. Good one. Oh, man. It's got power. Smoked that. Oh, it's a good fish. It's a good fish. It's a good one right there. Man. Just got one hook in him. Oh, look at that fish right there. Oh, he's got another hook in him now. He's got another hook in him now. Oh, look at that, dude. Right there. Smoked that crankbait. And that's the thing you have to remember when you're fighting largemouth on a crankbait. They have one big advantage over a smallmouth or a lot of species, and that's that yapper right there. As soon as you hook them, they open that mouth, and you can't pull too hard or you will pull those little tiny hooks out of his yap. And oh my, look at this. You don't think these fish are gorging? Look in that fish's mouth. You can see a tail of, I don't know whether that's a bait fish or another bass, a pretty decent sized tail sticking out of that fish's mouth. It's still alive. The tail is still moving in there. And this thing ate my crankbait. These things, are munching. It is munch season, and that's exactly what these bad boys are doing.
This segment is brought to you by ARE Truck Caps. ARE, outfit for life.
Oh, there's a good fish. Good fish right there. Swim along. See if you like the crankbait. I don't know where he went. Where'd you go? Disappeared. It's like a foot of water. Shoot, vanished. We got the right color weed. You know, this time of year, it's hot today. I mean, this is an unseasonably warm September. I mean, it's almost October, and it's hot here today. But it is about to get really cold here, and we've had a few cold nights already, and the weed starts to die off, and it's really key to fish around green weed. I mean, if you start picking up a lot of that brown and decaying weed, I mean, that's actually depleting oxygen from the water. So those fish don't like to live in it. They want to be near that green weed. So always keep an eye on the weed while you're fishing along. I mean, it's a pain in the butt to pick it up with your bait, but it also can tell you a lot. Let you know if you're fishing in the right area. There's fish. Oh, right on this break. I knew there had to be a fish in this break. It's charging right at me. He's not that big. Another little dude. Come here, Junior. Little guy. Just a little dude. Charging right at me. Fish. Oh, big one. Big one. Oh, whoa. Giant fish. Stay on. Stay on, sweetie. Oh, it's got one hook in him. It's like the other one. And like I said, you know, that big mouth becomes a weapon for him. He opens that mouth, and if you pull them too quick to the boat, you're gonna lose him every single time. But this dude, old tournament trick, just kind of walk him beside the boat. He's playing possum right now, and you can get a second hook in him. Ow! Get those hooks out so they don't stick in my hand anymore. Look at that dude right there. Another chunk. I mean, these guys know that the easy living is about to end, and it's time to munch, and that's exactly what they are doing. That is a good fish. I don't care where you're fishing. Whew. Oh, there's a fish. Big one. Oh, big one. Come here. Oh, look at the size of this fish. Look at the size of this giant fish. Oh, come here, you big, sexy. Open your, yeah, look at that fish right there. Smoked. Oh, that little spade jig. Inhaled it. And that is the kind you want right there. Man. Oh, he's angry. Angry. Oh, that's fun. One of the things you always want to keep in mind when you're tying a knot, before you go to cinch it down, just make sure that line is not in where the O-ring comes together. That little joint can actually work against your line and fray it if it gets stuck in there. So before you cinch it down, always make sure your line's sitting in the right spot on that split ring. Try not to hook your shirt. And not only will that guarantee your bait runs right, but it'll up your odds at landing that fish when it does eat. Oh, fish, smoked it. Smoked the crankbait. Oh, threw it up beside that dock. And this dude smoked it. Oh, come here, come here. It's a big fish on that crankbait. Man, even when the fish are messed up, you learn in a hurry that certain times they just have to react to things. And that's exactly what this fish did. I don't think this fish is actively feeding right now. He just reacted. And I'm so happy. Look at that dude right there. Hey, I don't care if they're swatting at it or inhaling it. As long as they get hooked, I'll take it. You see the way that fish is hooked on the bottom lip? That is just another telltale sign. But these fish with these messed up conditions are not eating like they normally would. I mean, normally they'd eat a crankbait like that and inhale it. But I got him on the bottom lip. He just swatted at that bait. So it just goes to show you, even when fish are totally messed up with changing conditions, you can still catch them. They just have to react to the situation. And that's exactly what we did with this bad boy. We gave him that little crankbait and he reacted. An awesome, awesome fish. Oh, let's get some more. There he is, smoked it again. That fish I just rolled past. I rolled that crankbait past that fish and whacked at it. And this is just proving exactly what these fish are doing. I mean, they're not eating this bait because, you know, they're hungry. They're just swatting at this bait, and this fish is hooked right at the bottom of its mouth too. But when that little live target crankbait comes rolling along, these little dudes have to eat it. I mean, that's just a little guy. But you see, he just swatted at that crankbait. A lot of times, you know, especially with these super lifelike looking live target baits, a lot of times that bait is gone. All you see is the lip hanging out. But every one of them today has just been hooked on the edge of the mouth. That tells me they're swatting at it. But it just goes to show you, even in tough conditions, everybody always thinks weather conditions change and you gotta slow down, throw tiny baits. But sometimes speed can be your friend. Swatting, whacking, it doesn't matter. We are catching them. And that little crankbait right there is the money maker today. Whew. Always check that line. I mean, a lot of times people spend time messing with their line around rocks and that sort of thing, but weeds are really, they're gonna abrase. I didn't know if that's a word, but there's a lot of abrasion around weeds, so make sure you check your line and get back in there. Dude, that was cool. That fish was the exact, I mean, I threw it through there, felt that fish go boom, right back. I threw it right back and he smoked it right away. They're just reacting to that bait. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, somebody throws a set of keys at you. You don't stop to think and look what it is. You swipe it away, and that's exactly what these fish are doing with this little live target crankbait. Oh, come on back. That smoked it. Smoked it. I mean, you had to see that in the camera. He just won't commit to it.
This segment is brought to you by Hook Performance Fishing.
You know, it really is amazing, you know, when it comes to throwing little cranks and stuff like this, it seems like the majority of anglers don't throw it around grass and weed and that sort of thing, and it can truly be a very effective bait. And one of the best things about it is when I reel that bait, I always know when it's working. I can feel that pulse the whole way back to the boat. And when that stops, I know it's picked up a weed. That's why you'll see me sometimes just popping my rod like this, and that's just clearing the weed off that bait. But the whole way back to the boat, it's an effective cast, because even though the fish, you know, even though you're ripping that bait like that, and that probably doesn't look very natural, a lot of times what that does is when it rips off a stem of weed or something like that, a fish will turn and it'll trigger a strike. So don't think that crankbaits are just a bait to throw around the rocks.
Fish? Oh, fish. That's a fish. Yeah, it is a fish. Smoked it and he's pulling it into the weeds.
Hold on, this is a good fish. Right off the edge of those weeds. Let me walk this fish around. Again, one tiny little hook in. One hook in this fish. Time for it. Look, it's just one tiny little hook. Tournament trick time. Let's walk him around and hope he gets another one in him. It's another good one right there. Come here, dude. Come say hello, me and my friends. See, again, the exact same thing. One tiny little hook on the bottom lip. That shows you that these fish are just swatting at that bait as it comes by. And the cool thing about throwing a crankbait is it allows you to cover a lot of water really, really quickly. And it allows you to get it in front of a bunch of fish, and every once in a while, one of them munches it. Oh, smoked it. Oh, big fish. Oh, he got. Man, another giant. He just swiped at it. Every single one of them hitting it the exact same way. I mean, that was another giant. I mean, 5-pound plus class fish. Oh, and I guess, you know, when they're hitting it like that, you know, that's kind of the averages. You know, you're not going to boat them all. No. There's another little joker. Little joker. I mean, how those ones don't get off. Little itty bitty. Look how thick he is. Come on. There's a fish. There's a fish. Smoked. Where are you at? Oh, wow, this is a big giant fish. Giant fish. Ooh. Come here, stay away from that dock. Stay away from that dock. Come here, you big freak panda. I'm gonna try to bring him around. Wait
do you see the size of this fish? I don't want to put too much pressure. He's not as big as I thought he was at the start. I mean, he's a thick fish, but he's not that long. Oh, jeez. He's the kind you want, Victor. Look how thick he is. Oh, look at that fish right there. And every single one of them hooked in the exact same spot, just on the bottom of their yapper. They are just swiping at that bait. They feel that little vibration of that little live target going through the water. And they cannot, even though they're all jacked up and their strike zone's messed up, they can't say no to it.
Dave fished for 8 hours, made 463 casts, and caught 11 fish. That's the score. Now time for the facts. Dave caught his fish on a live target Hunts for Center craw crankbait. Fished on a 7-foot medium heavy crankbait rod. Spooled up with 15-pound XPS Bass Pro Shops fluorocarbon. Or a half-ounce Jackal spade jig with a Jackal Darts Hog trailer, fished on a 7-foot 2-inch medium heavy casting rod, spooled up with 20-pound XPS Bass Pro Shops fluorocarbon. And that's the facts.